Okay, so earlier what we did, as I have covered in introduction as well, we have installed few core components on this delivery controller machine, correct? So if I click on start,
Yeah,
you will be able to find out, like if you expand that folder, Citrix Director, Citrix Studio, Scout, and Citrix Licensing Manager, correct? So those are the core
yeah,
components which we have configured on this machine. So now what we have to do, we have to create a site for our delivery controller. So from here, we have to launch Citrix Studio. Basically, Citrix Studio, it is a GUI console through which you can manage the entire operations. Okay. So as
okay,
you can see now, it's a blank Citrix Studio, like nothing configured yet. Now we have to configure the site, correct? So as you can see here, we are getting three options to configure. So first is to deliver applications and desktop to users. If you want to set up for delivering applications and desktop, you can select first option. Second option is for remote PC access. So just suppose if you do not have any hypervisor running in your organization and you are having few physical machines which is physically located in your office, correct? So for those physical machines, you can configure this option as well. With the help of that, your users
yeah,
will be able to access those physical machines remotely over the URL. Okay.
okay,
And third one is to scale up the deployment. Means if you already have any running delivery controller in your organization, you can connect that delivery controller to that existing site. Okay. So far, we do not have any
yes,
existing delivery controller running. We do not want to virtualize any physical machine. So now what we have to do, we have to deliver application and desktop to end users, and we have to create a new site, correct?
yeah,
So I'm going to select first option. So the memory which I have allocated to DDC is 6 GB. You can see here
okay,
6 GB memory I have allocated to this machine, and this is the minimum requirement for smooth operations, correct? So we need to deploy at least 6 GB of memory to delivery controller. So now it is asking for a site name. So site name, you can, it could be any office name, any location name, it could be your name, whatever it is, it should be identical. Okay. So in my case, let me enter Indore as my office site. Okay. You can enter anything, whatever you want. Okay.
okay,
Click on next. Now these are the database which will be going to configure in SQL Server, and SQL Server is already there at the time of installation, that has been installed as a prerequisites, correct? So it will work as a database for our entire site. Okay, so basically it is having three kind of database. First one is site database, second one is for monitoring, third one is for logging. Okay, so monitoring in the sense it will monitor each and everything, like whatever the hardware resources or software resources, whatever the events, it will monitor each and every event. Okay, coming to the logging part, so logging part, it will monitor logging sessions of each and every user, like at what time user entered to the data center, access the resources, and at what time user exits, correct? All kind of event will be recorded in this particular logging. And if I talk about the site, so if any modification, anything, whatever our Citrix engineers are doing, all those kind of logs will save in site database. Okay, so it has three database: site, monitoring, and logging. Okay, and now coming to the path, like here, as you can see, the location of SQL Server, here it is showing localhost. Why it's showing localhost? Because we have installed the SQL Server in this machine itself. Okay, so if you have any separate SQL Server running in your organization, so in that case, what you have to do, you have to replace the localhost with the IP address of that SQL Server. Got it?
yeah,
Okay, so now let me click on next.
Recording in progress.
So now it will validate the database. Buddy, are you on speaker? I am getting echo. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, 1 second, 1 second.
Yeah, there is lots of echo from your side. Even I'm getting
Yeah,
my
yeah,
voice
yeah.
back.
No, yeah, actually, what happened? No, initially I joined through mobile.
Okay.
Now I just opened in between laptop and connected.
Okay. Okay.
Now I disconnected from mobile.
Yeah, sure. So as you can see, database has been validated now, and we have also installed the licensing server on the same machine. Here it is. Where it is? Here it is, the licensing manager. Okay. So you must remember that port number 27,000. It is very, very important for license server. Okay. Interviewer may ask you those kind of port numbers. Okay. So basically what we are
Okay.
going to do here, actually we are having 30 days trial license from Citrix. Okay. And it is completely fine for our learning perspective. Okay. So if you have any existing license file from Citrix, you can allocate that license file as well, but it is for production, not for the learning purpose. So for learning purpose, we are good to go with 30 days trial. Okay. But am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Any questions so far?
No, no, no. We are good to.
Simply click on next. Now it is asking to connect the hypervisor. Okay. So if you talk about the hypervisors, so majorly we are having two hypervisors which are actually running in multiple organizations, and those popular hypervisors are Citrix hypervisor and VMware vSphere client. Correct. I hope you have heard about both things.
Yeah,
Okay. So here we are having options to connect multiple hypervisors. So if I click on the drop down menu, you will see that Microsoft hypervisor is there, then VMware vSphere, then no machine management is for the physical machines. Okay. And Microsoft configuration manager, it is actually not implemented anywhere. I never seen this. Okay. So the major part is VMware vSphere and Citrix hypervisor. These two are the most popular hypervisors. Okay.
okay.
So right now we are going to select Citrix hypervisor. Why? Because I have configured this machine as a hypervisor. I named it as a Gen server. Actually, Citrix hypervisor was known as Gen server only. Okay, Gen app and Gen desktop and Gen kind of things. I hope you have heard about those terms. Correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but now things are changed. They have renamed Gen server to Citrix hypervisor. Then Gen app and Gen desktop to virtual apps and virtual desktop. Correct? After release 7. Correct?
Yeah.
And also NetScaler to ADC. They have renamed
Okay.
multiple things. Okay, so this is my hypervisor, and I'm going to connect that hypervisor to my site. Okay, so as you can see here, the IP address of my hypervisor is 10.101. So now I have to enter the address. So I can continue with IP address, or I can continue with FQDN, that is fully qualified domain name. So here I am entering the fully qualified domain name, which is Gen server -01. It is the host name of my Gen server, and .techmtech.com. This is my domain. Okay. Now I have to enter the credentials for hypervisor. So in my case, it is root. Let me enter the password. And now it is asking to name this connection. So I can name it. It should be identical. So let's name it Gen server -01. This will be my connection name for Gen server 01. Okay. Simply click on next.
Okay.
Now it will validate the credentials like what I have entered. Okay. And it everything fine. It will connect the hypervisor to our site, but no, we are getting some error. The host server cannot be contacted. Why? Let me ping it. Gen server -01 getting proper ping from 10.101. It is fine. Dot techmtech.com with FQDN also I am getting proper response. Then why? Let me check for any spelling mistake here. Oh, I've entered HTTPS. Okay, so now our hypervisor is connected and now it is asking for the storage management. Okay, so we have
Okay.
two options available for storage management. Either we can use the shared storage by the hypervisor. Shared storage means any network storage device. Have you ever worked on like SAN and other kind of ISKG storage devices? Buddy, I'm asking to you.
No, actually, no. Yeah, I heard about these things, but
Hmm.
hands-on I don't have any. But I
Okay,
heard
so
about the
okay,
SAN
so
storage.
yeah, basically in production we always use SAN storage. Why? The reason is that if any hardware goes down, our data will be safe and will be available at our network storage. Correct. That is the only reason to use shared storage. Correct. But so far we do not
Yeah.
have any shared storage. Okay. So what we will do, we will use the local storage of hypervisor. Okay. And if I go
Okay.
here on Gen server 01, let me show you where is the hard drive. Here it is. Okay, so I have allocated 120 GB of hard drive to this hypervisor. So for our learning perspective we are going to use this storage only, but in upcoming sessions I will show you how to create a virtual SAN and how to connect that virtual SAN to our hypervisor and how to deploy all the virtual machines and how to configure all the users profile to that particular SAN or network storage device. Okay. So now we are going to use local storage of hypervisor. Simply click on next. And as you can see what selection we have done for operating system, we have selected local storage, and for temporary files as well, we have selected the local storage of hypervisor because we do not have any other storage so far. Okay. So that is the only reason why we are using the local storage. Okay.
Okay.
So now it is asking for this network name. So again, it should be identical. So I can mention Gen server -01 hyphen. No, it is for network now. So I can mention like net hyphen Gen server -01. So it will indicate that this connection is for net is for network. Okay.
Okay.
Simply click on next. So now it is asking to select some additional features. So in the additional features, what we are getting? We are getting FB publishing. So right now we are not going to utilize that FB publishing option. Why? Because it is a kind of it. We will cover it in for L3 or L2 kind of level. Okay, not for this level. Okay, I will let you know. I am having
Okay.
separate things. Yeah, actually, it is a separate topic itself. Okay,
Okay.
so we will cover this later. Simply click on next. And this is a summary what we have selected. This will be our delivery controller. Those are the database, the port number, the storage what we have selected, the network, and the connection name. Okay, so finish it. So now what it will do, it will create the site as per the options we have selected. Okay, so it will take some time.
Okay.
So at what time your shift will be going to start? 9 o'clock.
Yeah, 9:30 to
Okay, and
morning.
so for how much time you are available right now?
No, we can continue, no, because I know what I thinking is, so if it would be 1 hour session, then I will sleep. That's not.
Okay, you have to sleep, na?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, buddy. So what we will do? We have to manage the time. Okay, so your shift is permanently for night only, or means is there any
No, no,
chance
no. Only
for
no.
rotation?
Every 2 weeks it gets keep changing, day and
Mm,
night.
and when it will be going to change? This week or by next week?
This week till yesterday night shift
Mm-hmm.
till tomorrow. Next week maybe morning. I mean second shift 1 to 10.
Okay. So as you can see here, it is configuring the site. So in the meantime, what we can do, we can manage our hypervisor. This is our hypervisor. So basically, if I talk about the hypervisors, so hypervisors actually, these are the Linux based operating systems. Sorry, Linux based operating system, and we can directly install those operating system on physical hardware itself. Okay.
Okay.
So, and actually, as I told you, those are the Linux systems. So it is quite uh, hard to manage any Linux flavor in CLI mode. Okay. So to manage Gen server, we are having one application from Citrix which we called as Gen Center. Okay. So basically, Gen Center is a GUI tool which is used to manage the hypervisor. Okay. So it is a 45 or 60 MB application. I will share link to you. Let me, and I've installed this on my local PC itself. Okay, so let me open that Gen Center, and what we will do, we will connect. Let me forget that previous connection what I have created. So this is the blank application now. Okay, it is a GUI tool. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect this hypervisor Gen server 01 to this
Okay.
tool. Okay, so you can do right click here, or you can click here as well, add a server. You have to enter the IP address of your hypervisor. In my case, is 101. Root will be the username, and I have to enter the password for this root user. Okay, and just click on
Okay.
add. So it is asking for some security certificate. That is fine. Ignore this. Accept. So now this hypervisor, okay, are connected now here into Gen Center application. Okay, so if you click on Gen server 01, and if you click on the memory tab, you will get, I have allocated 8 GB of memory to my hypervisor, and you can cross verify from here as well. Let me show you. So as you can see, the memory I have allocated is 8 GB, correct? So actually we are just accessing this machine with that console in some GUI graphical way. Okay, so if I go to the storage, this is the storage which is available. Networking part, the network, the connection which is Gen server 01. If I go to NIC, NIC is our network. If I go to console, okay, so this is a console. So now it is asking the password for my hypervisor. So let me enter it. So basically this is our display. What display we are getting here? The same display you will get here as well. So to get that display, we are having one command which is access console. So I have typed this command, and now the same display you are getting here. Okay, what
Okay.
you are getting over there. Okay, so what I can do now, I can close this machine and I can select run in background because I do not want any other third tab here. Okay, so now we can manage our hypervisor from here. Okay, so now basically, if we talk about the hypervisor, why we use hypervisors? Because, okay, just forget about the hypervisor. Why we are using virtualization? Tell me, what is virtualization? I'm not talking about the hypervisors. You there?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is virtualization?
Virtualization.
Yeah, tell me.
I know. So to utilize the I mean hardware resource efficient. we use virtualization.
And why?
Uh, to utilize the maximum hardware resource.
Yeah, it is a reason, but why?
Uh,
To reduce the cost, correct?
yeah,
Just suppose if you have to deploy, if you have to purchase 10 laptops, correct? And what you will do, you will install a Windows 10 or Windows 7, whatever the operating system in every laptop, and you will allocate that laptop to your end users, correct? But
yeah,
just suppose if each and every laptop having 16 GB of RAM, so I'm pretty sure like Win 10 will never be going to utilize 16 GB of RAM, or not every user, correct? So
yeah,
for the same, what we will do, we will we will procure a strong hardware with strong configurations, okay? And we will install hypervisor as a software on that particular, not software, hypervisor as an operating system on that physical hardware. And now with the help of that hardware, what we can do, we can create numbers of virtual machines on that particular hardware, and this is what we call virtualization. And basically we are using virtualization to utilize any hardware to its maximum efficiency, correct?
yeah,
So for the same, now just suppose this is our hypervisor, and if we go to the storage tab, so far the available storage for me on that hypervisor is 77. We can consider 80 GB for now, okay? So just suppose with that 80 GB of hard drive, I can easily deploy 2 or 3 virtual machines, correct? Why? Because I can divide that storage into like 30 GB or 40 GB, correct? Because we are when we are publishing virtual machines to end users, they have nothing to do with the C drive, correct?
yeah,
If you extend the C drive to 500 GB, that doesn't make any sense, correct? Because
yeah,
it will be a loss of hardware resources itself, correct? In a similar way, just suppose so far I'm having 8 GB of memory here, okay, total memory. In that 8 GB memory, I can easily configure 2 or 3 virtual machines with 2 GB or 3 GB of memory, correct? Because sometimes what happens, just suppose if you are having any user in your finance department, correct, or in your HR department, okay, so they guys, what they have to do, they just have to open Outlook or any some of any web browser or URLs for their HR or finance part, correct? That is the only thing they have to perform, correct? They they never required the heavy tools like, you know, AutoCAD and other kind of softwares, or any heavy kind of task, technical work they never required, correct? So what we can do, we can utilize particular machines for them as per their requirements, correct? There is no need to provide any powerful hardware for them, correct? Any doubt so far?
no, no,
Okay, so now let me go back here. So as you can see, our site has been created now, okay? So if you have ever worked on that delivery controller or Citrix Studio, I think you are aware for those kind of things, like what is machine catalog, what is delivery group, what are the application pools. Have you ever worked on that console?
yeah, yeah, daily I used to use this one.
Okay, but you never created that, how it's created, correct?
Correct,
That we did. Okay,
correct,
so
correct, yeah,
okay, so now as you can see here, we have created a site, but there is no machine catalog so far. Why? Because we have to create a machine catalog from the master images, correct? And for the same, we have to create a master image on our hypervisor, correct? So have you ever worked on Gen Center before this console?
Gen Center, no. So VMware or vCenter, I mean,
Okay, means
vCenter
I
was
got it. You guys are using VMware vSphere as a hypervisor, correct?
correct.
Okay, so that's why I told you earlier we are having only two popular hypervisors in the market, correct? First one is this,
Yeah.
second one is that. Okay. So now actually it is a basic similar console, but the only difference is that you can access VMware ESXi over the URL, correct? But here we are
Yeah.
having a separate application. That is the only thing. So in a similar way, if you right click here and if you click new virtual machine, you will get the same options like what you are getting on VMware. Some GUI is different, but method or technology is almost same, correct?
Yeah.
So now, so just suppose now what we have to do, we have to create a virtual machine on this hypervisor, correct? So our first requirement will be the ISO files, correct? With
Yeah.
those ISO files, we can boot the virtual machine. So for the same, I have to add one ISO library here. Okay, so for the same, first I have to select some ISO files like data, then ISO. I'm having multiple ISO files here, so let me share that folder. Okay, it is already shared, but the host name will be the problem. So okay, I will continue with the IP address. So here we have to create one SR. In Citrix, we are calling this as a ISO library. Okay. So for the same, I have to click on new storage here, and I am going to mount one ISO library with window file sharing. Next, now name this file as a ISO library. I will copy all the required ISO library in this library only. Next, now it is asking for the share path. So in my case, this is a share path. And now I have to enter the credentials for this machine, like my physical machine. So let me try, it will accept or not, because my local machine is not into my domain, correct? So
Yeah.
perfect. So what I did actually, I I replaced the host name of my machine with IP address. Why? Because if I continue with the host name, in that case, I have to update my host file or I have to update my DNS records, correct? So it
Yeah.
will be time consuming. So that is the only reason, because I'm getting proper ping. Like if I ping, as you can see, not with hostname. With hostname, I will never get ping because my DNS is not updated. So if I ping my hypervisor like 192.168 and 10.101, let's see, I'm getting proper ping with IP address, correct? But if I try to ping with host name here, uh, so as you can see here, I'm not getting ping with my host name, correct? Why?
Yeah. Your machine is not in domain.
No, that no domain is a different thing. My host file is
Okay.
not updated na. So for the same, what I have to do, I have to redirect my host name like into the my host file, and I can modify that host file like let me delete this entry here, and let me enter it, gen server -01 dot techmtech.com. So what I just did, I just updated my, okay, IP address is wrong, it's 101, correct? So now let me save it. Now if I try to ping with host name, it will redirect my server to the IP address which is 101. But right now, okay, I have not entered the FQDN. So as you can see now,
Yeah.
my host actually w- what happening right now when I'm pinging this IP address, it's automatically sorry, when I'm pinging that host name, my host file automatically redirecting the host name to this IP address, correct? That's what DNS is doing, means resolving name to IP address. That's it, correct? The basic
Yeah.
function of DNS. Okay. So anyway, now what we have to do, we have to create one VM on Gen server 01. Okay. So for the same, you can right click here, new virtual machine. From the template, you can select. So we are going with Windows Server 2019. Okay. And click on next. Let me short it like Win2K19. Next. Now it is asking for the ISO library, correct? So I have already mounted the ISO library, so I can select the Windows Server 2019 ISO where it is. Okay, here it is. I have selected this ISO file. In the same way, if you want to deploy Win10 or any other application, or sorry, operating system, you can select. Simply click on next. Now it is asking like on which hypervisor you want to deploy this virtual machine. So far we are having only one hypervisor, which is Gen Server 01, correct? And it's showing like 6 GB of memory is available out of 8 GB. So 6 GB is fine to install one virtual machine. Simply click on next. Now it is asking for number of virtual CPU. So 2 is fine. And topology, 2 socket with 1 core, and this is the memory. 2 GB memory will be allocated to this server. Okay. And maximum we can allocate that much of memory to any virtual machine. Okay.
Okay.
So simply click on next. Now it will be utilizing 32 GB from my local storage of my hypervisor. Okay.
Oh,
So this will be my C drive and it is sufficient, correct?
oh,
Simply click on next. This will be a network. Click on next and check this option and create now. So as you can see here, it is creating the machine and the virtual disk now. Oh. Buddy, I missed one thing actually. That is the only reason why we are getting this option here. Do you have any idea why?
available start. Yeah.
Because I forgot to enable virtualization for my hypervisor. Like if I right click here into the settings and into the CPU, I forgot to select this option.
Okay.
Okay, so now I cannot do that while this machine is running. For the same, I have to shut down my hypervisor, correct? So basically,
Yeah.
anyway, so let me explain you what we are actually doing. That error I will sort it out, no issue. So after this, uh, if I click on console on this machine, give me a moment, someone calling me. Okay, so basically after that thing, it will install Windows Server machine or Windows 10 machine, whatever you have or we have selected on our hypervisor. And installation is quite similar. It is exactly similar to the normal installations, correct? Like how you are installing Windows Server or Windows 10 or any other operating system, correct?
Uh,
So let me shut down each and everything. So if you want to properly shut down your hypervisor, you can select here and you can shut down. You can shut. What is going on? Okay, you can shut down from here as well. So now it will shut down my this hypervisor in some time, and rebooting hypervisor may take some time. So it will take somewhere around 5 to 10 minutes to uh, reboot. Okay. So what we will do, we will connect after some time, or if you have to sleep, that is completely fine. We will connect. Is it okay for you to connect in the like afternoon, like 10 or 12?
Yeah, 12. Okay.
12. Okay. So what we will do, we will connect for a long session from tomorrow from 12 to 2 p.m. Is it fine for you?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, buddy. So now I'm disconnecting this session. Okay, let me modify the changes here.
So, this one, are you looking for outside? You are asking right in the call, any opening in DX?
Uh, no, no, no.
Uh,
Outside
uh,
means
uh,
what you are trying to say. I'm not getting your point.
no, no, you were asking right in the call. Is there any opening in DXC something?
No, no, no. Actually, I'm looking for the candidates for my organization, for my data centers. Okay. That is the only reason
Okay.
why I always ask my students, like, at what profile you are working, because, some of the students are all
Okay.
still on, desktop support or those kind of roles. Correct. So I can easily hire
Okay.
them for as a fresher candidate or as a trainee. Correct. So that is the
Yeah, yeah.
only reason why I always ask this question. Actually, I'm not looking for anything.
Okay, okay. No, no, no. No, so what kind of profile you are looking for?
Buddy, actually, this session is getting recorded, so we will discuss all those things on a
Oh,
separate call. Okay.
okay, okay, fine, fine. Sorry,
Okay,
sorry.
buddy. Bye. I'm
Okay,
disconnecting this session, and I will after this I will share that this recording to you. Okay.
okay, fine.
Okay, buddy. Bye. Have a nice day.